Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile 2 video. Do you want to find Citadels? A lot of Citadels? I mean, I have found a lot of Citadels. One up here, lots down there. I think I have found about a dozen Citadels, and I have been working on basically setting it up so that you can very consistently find Citadels, and I now think I have all of the nuances to consistently get Citadels. I definitely have about a dozen spread across various parts of the map. Difficult to find them all because there's not a good way to scroll through the map currently. I think there was a couple around here, one there, another there. Another should be up here. Yep. Got another one just down here. And by the way, if you watched my previous video, you saw my prediction of where some would be. These are the two corrupted towers that I had in my previous video when I was showing how I found this one. And I predicted that they would be about 2 screens to the left of this. And lo and behold, that's roughly where it is. A little farther north than I would have expected, but yeah. And of course, there's this extra one. So, what are the keys? And I just want to give a shout out to one of my viewers. It was, just let me, Carl Duzet or Carl Duzet. Hopefully I pronounced either one of those correctly, but he kind of set me on one of the keys, or the secondary key to finding these. So I was absolutely correct on the first key to finding Citadels, which is corrupted towers. Nice thing about corrupted towers is you can actually see them from pretty far away, as in, let me see if I can find one. Here's one right away. You can see them through the fog. You see the little red vines creeping out on here? You can see them. See, this is what it looks like when it's mostly defogged. You can see them through the fog, and you can see them, you know, when they're pretty far out into the fog. If we compare it to like a non-corrupted tower, they're kind of hard to pick out. Like, these are the non-corrupted ones. You do have to zoom in when you see them, and so at least I do. Maybe if you have really good graphics or really good eyes, you'll be able to do it without. Here's another one. So being able to identify the corrupted towers from a distance is a key component to this. And the other component is going to be the towers themselves. So I have a couple of, I actually filmed myself doing 2 of the towers, or 3 of them. I actually uncovered 3 in 2 hours and 10 minutes. The first one took me about 30 minutes. And granted, I'm doing it a little bit faster because I did spec to move speed. I'm 56.2% move speed. I'm running Thrill Steel for Onslaught, which, if you don't know, gives movement speed and skill speed. And I'm running Pulsar Kelm, that sounds right, which allows me to basically one-shot the screen, and I'm running unrolled white map. So obviously, if you're doing like tier 15s on a slower character, you're not going to be able to do it in 30 to 50 minutes, which has been kind of my average, but maybe an hour and a half is a reasonable time. So now that we know how to identify the towers, I'm going to explain a little bit more by pulling up some screenshots here. So, Carl had talked about the corpses, and this is something I noticed too, and I thought there might be something to it. So I have a variety of orientations of corpses here. Let me pull them up in full screen. I took a few during my search, and I have my video here. And in my video, let me scroll ahead a little bit to when I'm identifying on the map. So this is me having just seen the first set of corpses, and then, which is right here. Oop. There. So this is the one I kind of set my first screenshot up, and this is me kind of doing it. And one thing you'll notice is they're in a variety of orientations. You have this mummy one here. You have a lot of these green ones here. I actually think these green ones represent towers, is what my current theory is. I'm still trying to work out what all of the different corpses do or mean. And there's also decomposing corpses and brooms. I'm not entirely sure if the brooms have anything to do with anything, but it's a possibility, and I'll kind of go over why I think that that's a possibility, but it might be nothing. So pay attention to my location here. Currently, I'm gonna go over this peninsula. There is a corrupted tower here. So see, it's right up there. So if I go back and we start out again and we look at my orientation when I pull that up and compare it to the corpses that I had. Now, when I first made this, I assumed because the fork is facing this way with the with kind of the doorway that this was going to be north. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. I think it actually might be related to the orientation of your character. It's kind of difficult to say, and especially considering, depending on where your map is set up, different orientations. You'd think it'd be consistently that way, but the reason I think it might not be, or it might be, it's hard to say, is just because of how these are laid out. But you'll notice that this corpse and this corpse are pretty much directly lined up, where the tower, the corrupted tower, and then here, if you look at my video, and we're going to skip forward a little bit in the future, but pay attention to how this is laid out. The Citadel ends up being right up here. So that aligns with this mummified corpse, which is, it's a special looking corpse. So you would think, you know, it had something to do with something special. You know, but if you take this to be north, then this broom lines up with where the Citadel was. I think that's less likely. So maybe I'm just a little confused on the orientation, but this definitely seems to line up the way. So I think these would be two other towers, which I believe does line up with what's taking place in the map. I think there were two towers right down here in this part of the fog, perhaps. Which would be just a little bit southeast. I don't know if I actually scanned that area or not here, but let me check just so we can get that kind of information. Possible. I might not. Okay. Oh, there they are. I saw them right. So they're a little farther out than these two, but they're still showing as close. So it's possible that that might not dictate the direction. So yeah, now we're going to skip ahead in my video about 30 minutes in when I make it over to there. Quite a few maps on the way pretty quickly, because they're all tier 1 maps. Okay, 30 minutes. So this is, I believe, when I end up grabbing the red tower, which is pretty much when I consider it complete, and then we're going to pull it up. Oh no, this is the other tower, but this does reveal that the Citadel is just behind, in perfect alignment with these towers. So I believe the mummified corpse did indeed point to that. So with the combination help of going towards the corrupted tower and pointing towards that, we were able to basically dictate the direction. I think the biggest hurdle now is going to be figuring out although I don't think it's necessary, but I think figuring out what all the corpses mean. I think the little skeletal ones, so let me pull up a couple more screenshots. So you have these little ones. I've noticed that they seem to line up with unique maps. So I'm wondering if these do not indicate unique maps. And you'll notice too that this one had a special corpse too. This was, I should have time-stamped this one. I actually don't remember exactly when I took this from the video, but I was kind of going through my footage to see if I could suss out the patterns. But yeah, then you have these corpses, and one of these corpses, I think it was this one, during this was lined up very directly with an Untainted Paradise, which is what kind of threw me on to maybe these are unique maps. But you'll see a lot of these little green guys, which makes me believe that, and I'm right here, and that is where this final screenshot took place, so I can kind of see how things line up from there. So I haven't done the Citadel yet. I'm kind of just leaving them all for now. But if we take this and we kind of line it up with things where I'm at, if we take this to mean north, then this would be northeast, and this would be a little north of east of this, which, you know, a little north of east, I guess, would line up with the Copper Citadel. However, if we were to take it like this, then this would be a little bit more northeast, which means this corpse, which I guess is more thematically in line with the mummy, it would be in line, or this corpse. So, and then directly north and a little bit east would be a tower. So I'm wondering if the orientation is actually always lined up with where your character placement is and not where the fork is. That's pretty much my only current confusion on this, but you can still very easily find the Citadels simply by seeking out the corrupted towers. But I think getting a little bit more precision on it will definitely help in the long run. Anyway, that is the video. Hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.